Tell them run it up. I wake up. Yeah.
I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell them run it up. I wake up, flex, thumb down now, check, no drip this, wet. Tell them run it up, no sleep, no rest, might crash, might wreck, but first I stretch, tell them run it up. 9 out of 10, but through my hands, I'm by my lonely. Turned to a savage, now my baby wants to hold me. I love my fans, don't need no friends, I got my homies. Thought I could trust you, I find out you tried to zone me. I'm number one up on that court, I'm making gritty. The first one in, the last one out, can't call me lazy. Put in my hours, send the invoice, send the invoice.
That ended kind of abruptly, you know. That's the producer.
I know.
We are back. It is Ebony Sports Reporters, and we got in the house Coach Bernard Brown, and he's eating something. As you can see, he's eating. You know, he's enjoying himself, but he ain't give us no food. Just let you know that. Then we got Brother Ben Troop in the house. Bam, Ben in the house. Then we got the savage one. We got Coach Rob DeLoach in the house. I would say savage. Why? Because the stuff he do to us, it is unlawful. It is savage. I'm just gonna share that with you. And so we'll throw this out there. Now what has happened, the United States government has said that the detention, because we've always talked about this on Ebony Sports Reporter, at least we say something about it, that the detention of Brittney Griner in Russia is invalid. That again is a political move. That's what the United States government said. So we just want to throw that out there. But it's some other breaking news because we were going to talk about this at another point, but we're going to throw it out there right now. Dillon Brooks has been suspended by the NAACP for 1 game. What's your thoughts on that? Dillon Brooks, because what he did to Gary Payton II is basically, again, that was savage also. So, Coach Rob DeLoach, what's your thoughts on that, him being suspended for 1 game?
Well, in this new NBA, you know, if you had done that 10 years ago or 20 years ago, we wouldn't even be having this conversation. But because these games are being played prime time, TV during the week, and you know his story is an amazing story of how he got to this level, and Steve Kerr sold it very well. And I'm surprised his daddy didn't come out the stands. You know, Gary is a mean mug, but at the same time, I don't think he intentionally tried to hurt the guy. I think he was trying to, you know, you got to think the game before Payton did a monster dunk on him, and they didn't forget that. Mm-hmm. You know. At the arena, but you know it's a new day in NBA basketball, and like I say, had it been done 20 years ago, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I don't necessarily agree with the suspension, but now it's I mean they replay everything now, mm-hmm. So when you got cameras and technology, hey, this is where we are.
So Ben True, what's your thoughts with regards to that? Do you think the suspension should have been longer? Because Gary's out for a while now. Gary's essentially out for this series. We know because he's thinking it's like 3 to 4 weeks that he's out.
Yeah, but they're saying 2 to 3 weeks, so it's a chance that he may come back.
I do think the suspension was warranted because I think sometimes, you know, Dillon, I can understand. I agree with what Coach Rob is saying about this is a new NBA and. Bottom line, once a man leave his feet, if you are going for a block, it's got to look like a block. Like it's got to look like you're going for the block. Mm-hmm. Like I understand because anybody knows, man. The thing about it is most NBA players do not play in the air. I mean, you got the Stephs of the world. That's why they shoot all the time. They don't want nothing to do with that paint. But I agree with Coach Rob. The fact that, boy, Gary Payton came a long way. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. But I will say, when you got all eyes on you, sometimes it's a deterrent. Hey, man, I'm saying this to the rest of the league. We ain't doing this. Gary Payton was not a star, but because of it, broke elbow, I mean, he out. You know, so I do think that the NBA is doing more of a, hey, look, we understand we're going to have hard fouls. And what Dillon did is that if they gotta try to pick, they're gonna go with the suspension because it's a perception thing. That when let's make them look like we care. Plus, You know, Dylan only got a game because Gary Payton not a star. If that would have been a star, one of the face of the league, they would have probably suspended him for the rest of the season. The rest of the series.
Yeah, yes, indeed. And so now we come to the last person who had experience in doing things like this. That's a part of his career. So that's why we come to him last, and he's gonna probably say, "Why will I not let it go? We'll never let it go." And that's you, Coach Bernard Brown. What's your thoughts with regards to that, Coach Bernard Brown? We're not on the west side of the city of Savannah. We're not, again, dealing with the game between Memphis and Golden State in Memphis, Tennessee.
Yeah, I agree with both of the coach. I agree with them. I got two things to say. When it happened, I'll say that was a flagrant 2, whatever, he gone. And with Steve Kerr and Draymond and all them pushing it with the NBA, I won't be surprised if Steve Kerr didn't call the front office. But I am disappointed. Man, back in the day, and he hit one of our players, and he on the floor like that, man, all hell would have broke loose. I would have started. I was like, nah, bro. You can't do my boy. You can't do none of my teammates like that. All hell would have broke loose. I would have just went crazy. And that's the problem I have with the NBA. Man, y'all know when we was playing, we wouldn't allow none of that. Nobody hurting our teammate. Not only just hurting, just talking to them. You know, so I don't know why Jamal keep bringing this up, but at the end of the day, I would throw Wilson across the fence again. And I'm about to throw Jamal across the field because I'm in Savannah. So I can see you tomorrow. You know? But at the end of the day, these guys done got soft, man. And y'all know back in the day, Dennis Rodman and Rick Mahone and all of them, man, all hell would have broke loose, period. It would have been more suspension than just one person. You know, so that's my opinion. You know, I'm sad for Gary, you know, broke elbow or whatever, but you know, hey, he ain't a star, so Golden State still gonna win the 2020-22 championship anyway. That's my opinion.
And even when they are away, they still want to talk about credit cards and chicken wings and stuff like that. That's Julius Hall, you know, because oh my God, boy, this show. To all of you who are watching, we say to you, share the show. But this show is corrupted. This show is absolutely corrupted. Look at Bernard Brown. It is corrupted. That's why he wanted us to celebrate Cinco de Mayo, because he wanted us to be a little intoxicated during this show. That's why I was like, no, I said, I'm not going to let the devil lead me astray like that. So we are now going to move on. Something else, Bernard Brown. He's excited about the Yankees, talking about their streak. But guess what? The Yankees lost on yesterday. The Blue Jays took them out. I think it was 2-1. Bernard Brown, what's your thoughts on that right there? Because they're no longer on the streak.
Man, we can't win at everything. We can't win at everything, man. Just the point is, hey, they won 11 in a row. So they got to lose one game. Come on now. You know, they're sleeping on the Yankees, but the Yankees, man, they're building from their farm team. They're making some good trades. Their offense is going. Their pitching is, hey, trust me, they got the best bullpen in baseball. Y'all just ain't seen it yet because they haven't really used it because they was beating everybody. But I'm telling you, New York Yankees, we ready. We gonna take it this year, period. So stop hating, Jamal, please, man.
I'm just saying, Coach Rob DeLoach, what's your thoughts on the Yankees? Again, since they did lose to the Blue Jays on yesterday.
Nobody talks about the Yankees when they lose. They only talk about them when they win. So, you know, they're a big market team. You know, they like to see them balls going out the stadium. Yeah. They don't talk about the first base. They talk about the home runs and the Blue Jay fan giving it to the Yankee kid and he cried. That's the headline. You know, that's what being a big market team does for you. You know, so I believe the Yankees, I mean, in baseball right now, it doesn't matter. We're still in basketball season. So we'll see when the summer and September, October, we see if the Yankees still afloat.
All right. And Brother Ben, what's your thoughts with regards to these Yankees that, again, that everybody want to shout attention on?
Listen, we got a good show going on. I don't want my internet to go out. I do not talk about the evil empire known as the Yankees. It's all about these boys right here. If it ain't these boys right here, hey man, I mean, we ain't got a big market like New York. I lived up there for a little while, but the defending World Series champions until they not is these boys right here. So I know about Carlos and
Aaron. I can't see their head. What their head is?
It's Brown.
That's
Brown.
Listen. I mean, it's a dude named Usher. He say "Peace up, A-Town down." That's the Bravos. The Bravos right here. The Bravos.
Come on, man.
Hold on. Here's the thing. I got to you Mets fans out there. It's called being the Clippers, right? You're never gonna win anything. It's okay. We win things in Atlanta. So we bigger than the civil rights movement down here. We win championships too.
Okay. That's why I couldn't see it.
Hey, listen, that hat was originally blue, but it took so long for him to win that it turned brown.
Hey, and we'll take them at the end of the day if them boys' fingers hurt because they got them big old gigantic blings on. But listen, to you Mets fans out there, listen to me. Get on the subway and go on back out there to Queens. Y'all got real nice trees out there.
Okay.
All right.
And we're gonna move on to another topic that has just popped up today, and it's so fitting. We're gonna start with our brother Ben Troop. Deebo Samuels now seem like they got some love with the San Francisco 49ers. Seem like they got some love now. He has now got them back on Instagram. He's now following them back again. What's your thoughts on that? Deebo and the 49ers probably trying to get back together after they had separated for a little bit.
Deebo Samuel need to understand, man, that he's married to the San Francisco 49ers, and until that prenup is up, he's gonna be right there with them. Because at the end of the day, what are they gonna get for him? Like Deebo wants to leave because he's mad. That's not how business is done. When Deebo was balling and becoming first team All Pros, he's good. It's these contracts. John Lynch, the general manager, if he want to stay the general manager, Deebo Samuels better be in that garnet and gold next year, or it's gonna be smoke in the city. Deebo, I don't know. Listen, I don't know. You don't got to follow me. You work for me, so I'm gonna need you at work on time. I don't care about no you following.
And Coach Bernard Brown, what's your thoughts with the guy that Deebo now? He's come back. He's come back to following the 49ers.
Boy, sit down. Sit down. Hey, like that look. You know how when the kids be acting up and you be looking at them and you're coaching me, give them that look like yourself. Boy, sit down there. Man, just go play some ball. You know what I'm saying? Get your money, go play some ball. But who I'm really disappointed in, man, is those and I'm gonna change subject. Phoenix, Arizona, man, go ahead and pay that man. Stop messing around. That dude need to get paid. He the only person. Anytime they come on, anybody watching, just they watching them. And then with the boy, he's out for 6 games now for
DeAndre Hopkins.
So
if DeAndre Hopkins was taking performance enhancement drugs, and that's how he looked, don't take performance enhancement drugs no more. If that's how he looked from taking performance enhancement, it worked backwards. It didn't do what he wanted to.
Because I'm taking it. I'm taking it.
Listen, man. Please don't tell him what he took. DeAndre, if you took it, you took it. Little Kyler Murray, I like him, but Kyler Murray, he played real good and he kind of tail off. Listen, when you're trying to get other people's money, you got to put on the front until you get the money. James Harden show you how to do it. I'm gonna get right, get my cheese. Then I'm gonna show my you know what. You can't do it before. Cannot do it before.
All right. Yeah. So Coach Rob DeLoach, what some are saying right now that this is this generation how they do it, that they go and they are they're your friend on Instagram and on Twitter, but that's with regards to the athletes, with regards to the team. Then when they get married, they unfriend them. And then so that's an indication of how they are feeling. So they say that's an issue of this generation right here. What's your thoughts with regards to Deebo and the 49ers and that type of action right there, Coach Rob?
Hey, they draft every year. I'd have shipped Deebo ass out. Let somebody else pay him whatever he wanted because there's another Deebo in the draft next year. But you got to think, it's a game. It happened with A.J. Brown. They drafted A.J. Brown when they traded A.J. Brown.
Yeah.
There is a Deebo Sam in the league. But I can understand him trying to get more money because in California, those taxes with that first year contract, he ain't making no money.
Right.
And in order for him to get more money, he got to catch more balls. And I think then they was trying to have him as that running back / wide receiver, and he doesn't want that tag. He wants to be paid like a number one wide receiver. So he poked his lip out, and then they probably came back and said, "Hey, man, we're gonna draft some running backs, and we're gonna feature you like Devontae. If that happens, he'd be fine."
Okay. So now, Coach Rob DeLoach, is something going on. Some people are a little upset about that. They want to. What is happening with the WNBA? You got players that have not been cut. They just had a draft less than a month ago, and now you got players being cut. They said before people even made it to the courts. What's happening with the WNBA? And then also they're talking about how they got a fly commercial. So, Coach Rob DeLoach, what is happening with the WNBA? What is going on?
Well, you and I had a little slight discussion about this. It's the market. They're competing with college football. They're competing with college basketball, men and women. And there's not a lot of big sponsorship when it comes to women's basketball. There are only 144 women in the league. And the numbers show that the top players in college get drafted, but they never sign with the teams. They have to go overseas, play, earn their keeps, then come back. But it's not a whole lot of money playing ball in the U.S. And with things going on in the world, I wouldn't want to send my daughter because you never know what might happen.
Yeah.
So, probably the young lady that's the most attractive in the league, they just cut her from LA Sparks, Tia Cooper.
Yeah.
She's a must-see TV, but it's like, hey, 2 or 3 points a game and all that dancing and long ponytails don't get it. You got to be able to put the ball in the hoop. But I mean, I love watching the game, but I think it's just the market of the time that they're actually playing, and it's a small window. Like I said, it's only 144 women in the league.
And that is something that has been said. They said that they need to expand, and that's what's coming out right now. They say we need to have more teams, but then what they're throwing out, they're saying that it's not enough money in it with regard to the league. So, Ben True, what's your thoughts with regard to the WNBA and with regards to the monies, and can you expand?
I think you can expand, and the reason why I know you can is, I mean, look at how many other leagues is popping up in football. You got the USFL, you got the XFL. That's extra leagues. But the difference is, like the interest level, you have to focus more on marketing the players. Like when it comes to the NBA, WNBA, you got 144. It's set up the same. I don't know every NBA player. Like I really, really don't. But I have a star on every team. So the star would draw me in, and then I'll say, well, who is that and who is that? The thing about the WNBA is the only stars are the ones that, that the Candace Park, the people that work for like these other networks. So I think that the product is the product. People, you got a good product. You got to put the marketing dollars, and everything don't make money. Like, unfortunately, everything don't make a profit. So I do agree with Coach Rob. The only way they make money is by going overseas. They don't make no money during the season.
Right. Yeah.
So the thing is, the reason why the NFL is popular because it's here in America and stays in America. If NFL Europe, it's gone. So anything that got to go overseas to generate fun or to generate money, and like I said too, it's too many unknown players in the WNBA. And I think if they marketed the stars, these teams. And unfortunately, they're gonna have to get the NBA to step in and do a little more. Like the NBA gonna have to they got to do a little more because you got good players, man. And look, man, you being a woman shouldn't be the reason why you don't get to become a star as far as playing basketball in America.
You got to think the league had Cynthia Cooper. They hadn't had Cynthia Cooper and Cheryl Swoops and Tina Thomas. Those they hadn't had those type. Unfortunately. Their two most recognizable players is Sue Bird and Diana Taurasi. Like that's their two most recognizable. And they old.
They old. They in their 40s right now.
Yeah.
So I think that, unfortunately, and this is me. If you want to drive a sport in America that's not baseball, you got to have a black person doing it. Or we ain't gonna watch it. And I think the fact that Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird are the quote icons walking around. Like Lisa Leslie, I know she do a lot, but we gotta stop treating women's basketball like these women ain't elite. And just because I don't watch. They don't got a Tiger Woods in a sense. I ain't watch golf. I watch Tiger. I ain't watch no golf though. So it's kind of like that. And we 2022, man. Like unfortunately, Kobe died. If Kobe wouldn't have died, he would be the face. He would be the one because he can draw us in. So until LeBron stop playing. This is what we're going to have to deal with.
And so, Coach Bernard Brown, one thing that they're saying that the WNBA needs a G League. And so, what do you think need to be done to improve the WNBA? Because again, based on what Coach Rob is saying, what Brother Ben has said, what do you think some of the things need to be done to improve the WNBA so it can become a moneymaker and also something to catch their attention?
You know what? I just found out that they cut Cooper and all that. I coached and I played against her and my daughter and everything. So I'm kind of like, how you gonna cut somebody that marketing herself? She's the only player in the WNBA have a doll of herself. And so that's right there was a little bit of exposure. The problem is the president of the WNBA is not doing a good job. I mean, she's been on this job now about 3 years now. The lady before her was marketing it. They was making money. They was like, people was packed. Atlanta Dream games was packed. Period. Some of the players you know, some you don't. And so now all of a sudden, the last couple of years, it started losing. And that because either she ain't doing her job, and me personally, she really not doing her job. They need to go ahead and change the president of the WNBA. Even though she's black or whatever, but she's not doing a good job. And like you said, don't forget Candace Parker. I mean, she should retire right about now, but she's not retired because she's one of the face of the WNBA. All these girls, the average price that they make is probably about $30,000. 30 or 40,000. Most of the girls make their money overseas at the end of the day. I think, like you said, I think the NBA should step in. I really thought they was already in, but before you expand out, I mean, you need the product you got on the floor right now in these different cities, you need to come to the table to expose these girls. I watch WNBA games before I even watch the NBA game because it's flat out picking and rolling. Move your feet, post up, shoot, fundamental basketball. These girls are getting the injustice because the president of the WNBA is really not running it right like they did 3 years ago. Every year going to decline until you put somebody in there knowing what they're doing. She really don't know what she's doing, to be honest. That's my personal opinion.
All right. And so we're sticking with basketball because, because there's someone now who's being considered for the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame, or the Hall of Fame, and that is Dawn Staley. What's your thoughts on that, Coach Brown? Coach Brown, Dawn Staley being considered for the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame.
About time. Come on, man. That little girl putting the women's basketball on the map. She put South Carolina on the map. She's a very smart lady, period. One thing I like about her is that the same people in her circle, because I met her at least about 20 years ago, the same people in her circle is the same people in her circle. The little young white girl that sit aside of her, the assistant coach, been with her from day one. At the end of the day, this is what I'm saying. They need to go ahead and make her the president of the WNBA. The president. She need to step in because she the face of women basketball now. She the face. She done took over the Olympic away from the Connecticut guy. She the face of basketball, and she winning. She a winner. She 4'4", but she's a pound. She ain't taking PED, but trust me, she the face of women's basketball right now, and I think it's job well done. They should have been there, put her in there. So she need to step in because right now most of her girls, she got at least about 20, 21, 22 girls in the WNBA. She put them there. She played with them. So congratulations. Excellent job. Like I said, she the women of basketball. Let's use their product and ride with her.
All right, Coach Rob DeLoach, she's a finalist. What's your thoughts on that with regard to Dawn Staley being a finalist for the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame? What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, Dawn is a staple for women's Olympic basketball. Coaching is just what she does, but she's a true core leader. well deserved, for her. Like, Bernard Brown said that she's actually the face of college women's basketball. And at some point when Dawn gets tired of coaching, she probably will step up to some capacity. And if that's what she chooses to do to help grow the sport. She's done everything. She's won gold medals. She's won national championships. Yeah, now she's not in the Hall of Fame. From the University of Virginia, that's huge. So, kudos to Coach Don Staley, and we look for her continued success.
All right, and our brother Ben True, what's your thoughts with regards to this Don finally, being considered being a finalist for the U.S. Olympic Hall of Fame?
I think it's a shame she had to be as great as she is in South Carolina to even get consideration. Because let's face it, they trying to build off that momentum. And like Coach Brown said, look, Coach Gino, when you think college basketball, you used to think Coach Gino, UConn. Man, that one girl in South Carolina got a freaking statue. I think she got a statue outside. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is Don Staley went on a media tour and everything. Don Staley is known. And most people don't even know she's a coach. She's that big now. Like, that's Don Staley right there. So, yeah, man, about time. It's messed up. Listen, at the end of the day, that episode of Martin when they was playing the U.S. women's national team, Don Staley was on that episode, man. Like, I love Don Staley. So, yeah, man. I think she's from Philly or something like that. VA or something.
Philly, yeah.
So, yeah, man. And she in the finals, she gonna get in because they need her. Watch how many clicks they get when she on that stage, like they did her a favor. No, I earned this distinction.
Yeah,
right. That's it. And so we move on to this with regards to Dusty Baker being the first Black manager to won 2,000 games in baseball. What's your thoughts on that, brother Ben True? Dusty Baker, 2,000 games he has won in the MLB. So with regards to being the first Black manager, what's your thoughts on that?
I can't say enough about Dusty Baker, man. He's been so solid, his time in the MLB, and I'm happy that he the first. Like, as Black people, we still get to say we the first doing something, right? Which is fine, but now it's gonna pave the way for other, Black managers to get opportunity because unfortunately we got to win 2,000 games for another Black manager to even get consideration. As Dusty Baker, one of the best to do it, period. Like, he's better than most managers. So
yeah,
shout out to Dusty Baker, man. He's still getting it done. And, I just think that sometimes, man, we don't understand just how great some of these people have been. And we say 2,000, like, man, 2,000, that's like 4,000 hits. That's rare. So shout out to Dusty Baker, man. He still wanted to bet because I think he's still doing it, right? I think he's still doing it.
Yeah.
So he's trying to add that. Shout out to him.
Yeah. Yes. And so, Coach Bernard Brown, what's your thoughts with regard to Coach Dusty Baker being, manager who has won 2,000 games? What's your thought? The first Black manager to won 2,000 games.
Hey, man, Baker, Dusty Baker, my boy. The way he walk, he's smooth. When he go up to that the bullpen, and Dusty is a great guy. He played for the Atlanta Braves. Since you got the head on, he played for the Atlanta Braves back then. Dusty was always a class act. He always professional. You never heard any negative thing about him. And one thing about him, he always get a job. He can be sitting home and they call him up. Everybody, and he ain't got to raise his voice to this player, and everybody like him. He got his locker room, and congratulations to him. And I'm not gonna say, they always, like you say, the first Black, this and that. This dude is a hell of a manager. No matter what color he is, he's a hell of a manager, and he's more of a hell of a person. And that's my opinion. Congratulations, and keep doing what you're doing, Dust.
And Coach Rob DeLois has discussed that Dusty's been the manager of 5 teams, and all of them have gone to the playoffs. And so, again, and they look at him saying the first Black manager. And some express the concerns that saying the Black managers are saying, listen, he's just a great manager. What's your thoughts with regards to that?
Well, Dusty is a legend in the game. With a name like Dusty, that says it all.
Yeah.
He was a hell of a baseball player with the Dodgers back in the days. The transition from a great baseball player, and a lot of them don't transition to great managers. So he's learned from some of the best in the business, which has helped his career. He stayed humble. He's feisty. Like you say, kudos to Dusty Baker. 2,000 wins is we probably never see that again in our lifetime anyway. Because first of all, we don't have that many black managers. So for him to survive, from playing the game in the 70s and here we are in 2022, I mean, it speaks for itself. So like I say, kudos to him and his family. And you definitely got to have a lot of support being away from your family, playing ball, coaching all over the country. So, kudos to him and his family for all that support.
All right. And so now we come to this right here. Howard has said it's going to remain with the MEAC. So it's going to remain with the MEAC. The MEAC has said that Chicago State wanted to be joined, but folks are like saying, nah, we don't want Chicago State because it's too much travel, other things like that. And so, but Howard says it's going to stay with the MEAC, so the MEAC still has life. So, Coach Rob DeLoach, what's your thoughts with regards to the MEAC conference? What do we foresee for the future of the MEAC conference?
Well, Chicago State, because they didn't have football, they definitely was not going to let them join the conference. They would have to join one of those conferences that doesn't have football. I mean, basketball only, like the A-10. But when you're talking about the MEAC, every school has a football team, and football generates the revenue. And to be honest with you, I didn't know Chicago State was even trying to join the MEAC, until I followed up on it because, I always thought it as basketball. But, things are changing, man. And, I mean, not only for black college football, but for these PWIs. And they're trying to find their way with these young brothers, forcing their hands. And I was just reading up while we were on it that the running back from Texas got an endorsement from Lamborghini. So the game is changing, and hopefully the MEAC can survive, and we kind of go from there.
All right, Brother Ben Troop, what's your thoughts with regards to the MEAC? Howard remain in the MEAC, and that so giving some more life to the MEAC. What's the future for the MEAC?
It shows that Howard mama ain't raised no food. They know what's coming. And I what a time to be alive to where Chicago State they thought they was in. The MEAC is telling nah. Like and the football aspect of it, you're right, Coach Rob is a part of it, but the MEAC is saying, dude, you got to bring something to the table though. Like outside of just location, because we don't now. I do agree though. We got to start doing more to help the MEAC get out of the dark ages of the running back in Texas just signed with a Lamborghini deal. We got to make them look at the MEAC as an asset because it is. Mm-hmm. It's bigger than just Deion and Jackson State and Coach Hugh at Grambling and Eddie George at TSU. The MEAC and the SWAC, like these things are like foundation when you talk about not just black people but football and sports. So I shout out to the MEAC telling Chicago, sorry, man, you ain't finna get to boot your reputation over here. And number two, I do think, man, we got to be more of a Cali telling people, I went to the University of Florida, but it's not because I couldn't. Listen, man, my first visit ever, man, Orangeburg, South Carolina State Bulldogs. So we got to make sure we keep elevating them. And anytime somebody, it's like my granddaddy told me, boy, when they talk about HBCUs, they talking about you, whether you went there or not. Yeah, they talk about you. So we got to make sure they respect us.
All right. Yeah. All right. Coach Rob DeLoach, what's your thoughts with regards to the MEAC and how it remaining intact and how it being right there for them? But then also now you have other leagues, the Colonial Athletic League. They're all looking at expanding. The Big South looking at expanding also. And so they are considering HBCUs. So, and by Howard is saying we're going to still remain with a traditional HBCU conference. What's your thoughts with regard to that, Coach Brittney Griner?
Hey, I was hoping you get.
Right. Just stick to the script and go on with the question. I get tired of this. Answer the question, Bernard Brown.
Okay, I'm gonna stick to the script. Hey, I don't appreciate you hollering at me either. Everybody been hollering at me all day now. I'm gonna go on. God damn it. No, but on a serious note, I think it was a great move, Howard. It's all about money, all about revenue, all about money. And I think, you know what? the black schools and college and everything, they get more press than the regular college. They get plenty press now. You know what I'm saying? We're sitting around and we talking about it. Everybody talking about it. So right now, kids are to realize this. It don't matter what school you go to. If your goal is to get in the NFL, NBA, or whatever you're trying to get in, it don't matter what college you go to, whether it's a white school, black school, they're gonna find you. And so, like Ben said, sorry, Chicago, hey, talk to your mayor about that one. So Howard's okay. We're gonna be all right.
And Julius Hall has not joined us for Ebony Sports Reporter, but I'm going to ignore him and I'm not going to give him the question. I'm going to move on to another question. But we go ahead, because Bernard Brown going to jump up and defend him. So I don't want to have to go through that, America. So again, Julius Hall, Howard University, they said they were going to remain in the MEAC. They said Chicago State, the MEAC conference presidents and everyone else said, hey, nah, we don't think so. We don't think about having you join us. So what's your thoughts regarding Howard remaining with the MEAC and what's the future of the MEAC conference?
Well, Howard should stay in the MEAC, if you ask me, because it makes them, they're the whole 14 schools. I think it's like 14 schools in the MEAC. And why would you take away from something that has brought you to where you're at? There's no sense in them switching and going nowhere else. Howard is, everybody associates them with the MEAC. I think that all these schools should have some revenue sharing with these bigger schools coming down. The Ohio States and the Georgias and the Alabamas need to be giving to the smaller schools also. It should be some revenue sharing because it's all about entertainment for football and with sports rather. And it's all about those kids getting their education. So I think it should stay anyway, no matter what it is.
All right. So now this next one, let y'all know, is Brother Ben True, because I know he associates with Coach Rob DeLoach, and I know and Coach Sam Carter, and I know sometimes it's a conspiracy stuff going on. Listen here, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I just know sneaky stuff be going on. And just like he talked about something about his experience, about how he went to South Carolina State, that was a topic that we're going to be bringing up. But see, he had to bring it up because just like throwing out there about Kayvon Thibodeau, when he went to FAMU, some people say that was bigger than what most people realize, and that is something that Coach Rob DeLoach and Coach Sam Carter talk about, that they tell folks, go ahead and say HBCU just enjoy. It don't matter. If you could even recruited by, Notre Dame, you still go and tell them you throwing an HBCU. And see, Ben was trying to be all slick, America. When he threw that out, I said, look at him. So we're going to go on to Brother Ben. What's your perspective on that? Well, guards, again, Kayvon Thibodeau, who not been drafted by New York Giants, that now, again, having that experience that you're going to throw in an HBCU in the mix when you're being recruited. What's your thoughts on that? Oh, you already told us. But go ahead, since I know you're around these people. They done corrupted you too, I see.
No, I mean, it just keeping it a buck. I mean, let's call it what it is. It's a PWI can provide me the platform. HBCUs, that's a freaking culture. Like, man, at the end of the day, right? I'm gonna say what Deion Sanders said, and I believe it. Florida State, Georgia Tech, Florida, Miami. It's only that because we went there. If we don't go there, right? And the thing about it is, the Travis Hunter that went to JSU, we want to make that the norm, because at the end of the day, these teams talk about us. People say you ain't there for 4 years. That's a 40-year decision. As long as you're doing what you're supposed to do, they're gonna be pubbing you. Plus, if I'm keeping it real about Kayvon Thibodeau, that boy ain't never seen that many black people's life. So he went over there to freaking FAMU. He like, good Lord, this is the black people in what spot? I mean, he ended up going to Oregon, but all I'm saying is, look, there's another Deloach that's down there in Tallahassee. I know he get to play with them Seminoles, but he spent a lot of time across the street. I don't care what he tell his daddy. That boy across the street, like, girl, I got to get to class.
So you saying he be on the highest of the 7 hills down in Tallahassee. He on the highest of the 7 hills.
Listen, most they call Tallahassee the capital city. I've been to Tallahassee, people, and look, I know they got that big old gigantic brick monument with Bobby Bowden in the front. If you just drive your car and go across the street and you start seeing, you go down Frat Row and Fraternity Row, boy, you might never leave. And they call that Lord Jesus Have Mercy Boulevard.
So, Coach Rob DeLoach, what's your thoughts on that, Coach Rob DeLoach? You're muted.
I say I happened to be on campus the weekend that Thibodeau visited FAMU in Florida State. The kid he's pursuing I guess he did at Oregon in broadcasting and journalism. So coming from LA, he brought his whole journalist team to record all of his recruiting and every stop. Great kid. His father, I thought it was actually when I met her, I thought it was Snoop Dogg because coming from LA, he had on his chucks, his khakis, and his white T-shirt and his braids. Mom was real laid back. But the kid basically marketed himself to be where he is now. Yeah. He did a great job. Everywhere he went, when he was the number one player in the country, he took it to a whole nother level of selling himself. And you see some of his interviews. A lot of people say he's arrogant, he's cocky. Hopefully he can back that up on the field. And Ben know how he treat rookies when they come in the league.
Hey man, everybody got to earn that thing, man. I like him though, man. I like his confidence. I really like his confidence.
There you go.
Yeah,
we can't knock his hustle.
Yeah.
All right, Coach Bernard Brown, what's your thoughts with regard to that? With regards to his visit, significance of his visit to FAMU, and with regards to what that speaks for volumes.
Yeah, man, I like this kid. Hey, I'm gonna give him a name right now, and Ebony. Remember this, and you got it from Ebony Sports Reporter. I'm gonna call the boy Hollywood, because when Deion Sanders came in Atlanta and came off that plane, man, I ain't seen so many lights, so many limousine or whatever. Everything he said, he backed it up. I'm not saying he's going, Deion or whatever, but I'm just saying I think now you have to perform on the field, but make your money off the field. You know what I'm saying? Get these endorsements. You think Mike made all this money playing basketball? Endorsement. Think Magic? Endorsement. LeBron James? Endorsement. Market it yourself and do what you got to do, because your span in sports probably by average of 10 years. That's if you don't even get hurt. So make your money, good kid. Like I said, hey, kudos.
All right. So now we move on to something else that is controversial. And this is, they say, if you don't have a wealthy booster, you are effed right now. You are effed. They say if you don't have a wealthy booster, because again, that is with regards to name, image, and likeness, that right now, they NIL, they say if you don't have a booster in place, you are basically out of the loop right now in college athletics. They say, and this is what, not me saying it, that's what they say. They say you are effed. Coach Rob DeLoach, what's your thoughts on that?
You are all caps on that. From what I've been reading up, and if this happens, Ben and Dr. Jamal, if they combine this conference or what they're trying to do, the Big Ten and the SEC, they're basically saying they don't need an NCAA. The AD for Ohio State has already said that we need to come up with our own rules and regulations to run college football. It's all about the money. The NCAA has basically been stealing all the money for years.
Yeah. And
now the players are in a situation where they can gain some money up front, and it's outside of the NCAA.
Yeah.
So then if you was playing in this time frame, buddy, you would be you'd be a millionaire before you even got to the pros.
Yeah.
But like you say, these kids understand this. I said all the time, it's a business. So now the kids are playing the business too, and they don't like it when the rabbit has a gun. So, I think it's good for these young people because not everybody's going to make it to the league. So if you can secure the bag in college, and then when you get out and go out and be an agent and represent some of these kids, Hey, why not?
Yeah.
All right. So, brother Ben, true. What they're saying that if you do not have a booster bank, you gonna have problems with regards to recruiting right now. What's your thoughts with regards to that? You ain't got that booster bank because again, for that name, image, and likeness. What's your thoughts on that, brother?
The last 4 years, the number 4 team, the 4 teams is number 1, 2, 3, 4 recruiting was Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, Texas A&M. Who all done won that championships? Georgia, Alabama, Clemson, and Texas A&M had the number 1 recruiting class in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
I think the thing about it is though, I do agree with Coach Deloach. Most people in life will never have leverage, never. And the fact that if I'm 18 to 22 years old and I got leverage, look, man, I'm trying to get as much money as I can because the only restrictions fall on the players. Lincoln Riley, the head coach of USC, he had just signed a contract extension to go to Oklahoma. He went to USC. Nobody said a word. And he about to get the number 1 receiver, Jordan Addison, that played the Pitt. That boy transferring to USC. That boy don't even know where LA is. He about to get that money. So I just think for me, right, listen, I will never, let me tell you something. I will never, ever come at a player for using what he has while he has it. Because at the end of the day, if you making plays, if I'm the number 1 this, number 1 that, I got leverage. We talked about the running back for Texas. That boy just signed with Lamborghini. The thing about NIL that we don't teach them is this. You got to keep those relationships. Don't just build them.
Yeah.
You got to keep them. That way, you know how much different of a player I am if I know I got money in the bank and I got money coming. That's if the NFL don't come. What scares the NFL is we don't need you no more. Meaning, I want to get drafted. But if I bought my mama a house before I even know I had to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because unfortunately, 250-something guys get drafted. Half of those guys get cut. 53 guys make the team. 46 guys dress. 30-some guys play. I'd rather get $2 million while I'm in college and the NFL go, hey, Ben, I'm good, man. I've learned how to invest my bread. I'm gonna get my own NIL company, and I'm trying to be like Magic Johnson. I'm trying to own both. I'm trying to own the Sparks, the Dodgers, and he bidding for the Broncos. So I like what they're doing, man. We changed the narrative about money. Money is about how much, whatever your bank account say, that's you. It ain't how much money you made, it's how much money you got.
Yeah.
All right. Coach Bernard Brown, what's your thoughts with regard to that? If you ain't got that booster bank, as they say, you are effed.
Yeah. And you know what? I agree with everything Coach Ben and Coach Lowe say at the end of the day, but you got to realize this. The NCAA, they can move on the side. They can move now because not only that these players is taking control. Matter of fact, I think in the NCAA, I think the dude he dropped off. He's no longer the president or something.
Oh yeah, Mark Emmert. He's moving on.
He's still different now.
I see the Wizard of Oz. He ain't real. He just standing behind the freaking curtain.
Right.
He don't do nothing.
Yeah. So hey, get your bread. And like you say, if you got money in the bank, right? And if now these kids say, look, I'm already got money in the bank. I know I'm going to the NFL, the NBA. I just stay in college for 2 years and, break some records or whatever like that. Hope and pray they don't get hurt. And at the end of the day, we good. Now it's in our hand. And you know what? I guarantee you right now, by next year, the rules going to change. You know why? Because the black folks done caught on. They done caught on now. If we can come together like we come together in sports and come together in society like this, man, you know where we'll be at right about now? Hollywood, trust me. So at the end of the day, get your bread, take care of your family. And one thing I want to say about this here with Jared, his mom, people don't realize his mama is his agent for the Atlanta Falcons. Got her son that money. And now they ran high. Trust me, get your money before you get hurt and before they figure out what we doing, because they're going to figure it out. They're going to go back to the drawing table. Just like they're going to figure out why Jamal got that shirt on right there. They're going to figure it out.
It's called the swag, baby. The swag. Alcorn braids, baby. Alcorn braids. I'm representing the swag.
I got to play with the greatest Alcorn player of all time. So shout out to Al.
Yeah. Rest in peace. Rest in peace. Yeah.
And so we'll go ahead and throw this out right now because this is also something that's controversial. We're throwing out the GHSA. They have not come with a transgender ban. And see, on Ebony Sports Reporter, we have brought this up months ago. And so now what has happened on this week right here, GHSA has not come with a transgender ban on sports. So what's your thoughts? We're going first, Coach Bernard Brown. What's your thoughts with regard to that?
You know what? Man, it's just a disgrace. I'm like, I don't care who you are, whether you're a man, woman, a man, or whatever. You don't have the right to take somebody rights for them. You know what I'm saying? And the last thing, you got other stuff you have to worry about than to worry about, say, that person right there can't play because of his gender or her gender or whatever. I'm saying it in a nice way. It's unfair. It's crazy. And it's racist. Period. At the end of the day. And I'm gonna leave it like that because I don't want to get thrown off by Jamal. So just say I'm happy about it. At the end of the day, be who you want to be, no matter what. Stop judging people. At the end of the day, if you get beat back, go back to the drawing board. Get your PED and try to win.
This is the time you should to throw up the statement that the words that used by Bernard Brown is his words solely and not the words of Ebony Sports Reporter. So again, we do not advocate PEDs. We do not advocate PEDs. Understand that. Thank you. So we now go to Brother Ben True. What's your thoughts with regards that GHSA has done say ban, transgender ban?
It's the world we live in, right? But the thing about it is this. Obviously, he gonna get to compete. And I think that what happens in this world is when I always say this. I'm not here to judge either way. Transgender man, transgender woman. That we all live under the same sun. But if the transgender man starts dominating as a transgender man, and you go back and look at the track record, and he did not dominate when he was a woman, you got to start asking yourself. Look, and this is the best. And I know it was meant to be a joke, but when David Chappelle said, if LeBron James decided to become a woman. Right? Bro. And he went to the WNBA. He dominates in the NBA. So all I'm saying is inclusivity. I get it, man. I'm all for it. But I just know that it's a competitive advantage. No matter what nobody says, no matter what all the hormones. Yeah. If I got to take all this stuff to kind of take away what I naturally am, guess what? I still have the mentality of what I used to be. So, but hey, I wish them all the best. But to everybody that's for it, and I'm for it, when your so it used to be a woman, transgender man, but you transition to a man, correct? If I'm not mistaken, I want to say it right. Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, man, this is what we at. This is what it's gonna be. I just know that the physicality level, on this level, is gonna be a little different. And Coach Deloach, if I knew you used to be anything else, I'm coming at you. So just know they're coming at you.
To let y'all know this, we have another producer. He's let me know we got only 4 more minutes. We got that. He put it out there. Wow. 4 more minutes. So just let y'all know that. So Coach Deloach, we're gonna come to you. GSSA has gone and said transgender ban. What's your thoughts on that, Coach?
Well, first of all, they need to ban Jordan High School Association and regroup for one. Second of all, I don't know who was on the committee, but I know whatever the vote was, everybody was in favor. I think it was like 32 or 62-0, whatever the number was. Mm-hmm. So in order for them to at least have one vote, they had to have some representation at the table. Mm-hmm. And evidently, they didn't have any representation at the table, so no one could defend what they were fighting for. I don't judge, but when you are a man or, transition to a woman, you still a man to some degree.
Yeah.
And you're going to have that competitive edge just because you were born with those genetics. That doesn't change. Now you decide to play a sport, you got to deal with what comes with it. So you just have to be a man looking like a woman going out there getting your ass whooped playing a man's sport. It's just that simple. Because if that's the case, we don't need to have women's basketball and men's basketball. We just play all one. And we know as a man, we're going to have an advantage, and we're not going to hurt our women. It's just what it is.
Yeah.
But like I say, in a nutshell, because they didn't have any representation, then there's nobody to speak on their behalf.
And when I first brought it up as one of our topics, and some people like, I might say no. And this is coming from women who are saying that, because what happens that they see the advantage occurring with regards to a male who now said that I am a female, and that just like the very thing y'all saying, it is still, everything is still there. And they like saying, even with regards to what you're trying to do to limit, it is still giving them advantage over us. So they're not saying our daughters are not able to really accomplish the achievements that they can naturally achieve but for this person. So again, we got people, our new producer who now, because I see 56 minutes for us to have the show. He letting us know it's like probably we got like 2 more minutes, or maybe even a minute. So I just want to throw this out here and just get a quick thought from y'all that Allen Iverson told Jet Howard, that is Jawan's son, said, be a great dude, be a great dude like your effing father. What's your thoughts on that, Coach Rob DeLoach?
AI is who he is.
Yeah.
Coming straight from the heart. Jawan played with a lot of energy. So if the Jet can have half the energy of his dad, then he'll be just fine.
Yeah.
All right. Coach Bernard Brown, what's your thoughts with regard to the advice given by Allen Iverson to Jet Howard, Jawan's son?
Hey, let me tell you, your new producer, we can go along, as long as we don't go over 2 hours, we can stay on here. And so he just sit there and produce our show and stop telling you we got 2 or 3 minutes, your boy. Okay? When we get done, we're going to get done.
He about to mute you. He said
we got plenty.
He run this right here. He run this crap right here. He ain't say crap, but all right.
All right. Hey, AI the man. If he say something, listen. Period. Those are Fab Five boys, man. And at the end of the day, do what you need to do. Period. You representing Jawan Howard. Do what you need to do, boy. And if AI said, hey, one of the greatest little man that ever played NBA basketball and held his own, changed the culture, everything.
All right. And so, Brother Ben, what's your thoughts with regards to the advice given by Allen Iverson to Jawan Howard's son? Because again, here's a black man talking about another black man and telling his son, be like your daddy.
That's pound for pound. That pound for pound, he the greatest. The AI's talking to me. I'm gonna shut up and listen. Like at the end of the day, Jawan Howard, as you mentioned, part of the Fab Five, head coach of Michigan right now. AI walks in the room, everybody listen. I'm trying to get in. Like, what'd you say? You don't know my daddy, but I'm gonna be like him too, AI. I'm gonna take what you said to him. I'm gonna do what you said. That's AI, man. AI, LeBron and all them, nothing against Jordan because he's the GOAT. LeBron and all them boys want to be AI, man. Remember when LeBron had the cornrows and all that?
Yeah.
Them boys grew up, they want to be AI. AI is that dude. So, and I appreciate AI, man, not letting his celebrity get in the way of his purpose. That man know what he's supposed to do. He just paying it forward to the next generation.
Yeah.
All right. Now, it seemed like, I don't know, the other producer would have said that it could be a request for 10 minutes, but we ain't trying to stay on no other additional 10 minutes. But I think it's something important because Coach Rob DeLoach had a conversation about this, that with regards to, there's someone by the name of Ja Morant, and Ja Morant, daddy is there in Memphis, and people have been criticizing his daddy. And what is that about? And I'm going to start you, Coach DeLoach, now, not to say you got 5 hours to talk about this, but put it out there. And I think it's important for Ebony sports reporters to be the one that really put that out there because a lot of people are silent about it. Go ahead, Coach DeLoach. Why are they critical of Ja's daddy?
I get the same thing. And I'm not Ja Morant's daddy. I get it here locally. But I embrace it because I'm going to stand and support my children. And I'm going to stand in the gap for those who don't have no dad that can stand in the gap for them as well. So I commend him. But like I was telling you yesterday, he knows the janitor, he knows the people that's making the hot dogs, he knows the people that's doing the parking. So he's helping build a brand outside of basketball when Jaws is done by just being a real person. And you can appreciate that. We can appreciate that. Most white folks, they don't understand that.
Yeah.
They want him to sit down, but hey, that's my son. And if it was their son, look at when Michael Phelps was all over the country. He was a swimmer. His mama was everywhere, but it wasn't an outcry because it's a black man and he's out here, supporting his son. We need more of that.
Yeah.
That's my 2 cents.
And Brother Ben Troop, they're gonna say, "Black man, sit down. You need to sit down. You need to sit down, Daddy. Sit down." What's your thoughts on that?
I mean, haters gonna hate, and at the end of the day, right? Why don't nobody say anything about Archie Manning? He do everything with Payton and Eli. They don't say nothing, right?
Yeah.
I don't see nobody say nothing, right? And he do everything with them. Everything.
Yeah.
Why don't nobody say nothing about Tom Brady, Daddy? He do stuff with his son. I was in the 2004 draft when Archie Manning said that Eli ain't playing for the Chargers.
Yep.
So listen, all I'm saying is John Morant daddy is a myth killer. They say black men don't care about their kids. What? Yeah. We don't care about our kids.
Yeah.
No, John Morant daddy is young enough to still have swag, and they don't like it. Listen, if you don't like me, they interviewing me because my kid is in the game. They're not interviewing me because I'm at the game. And listen, I didn't make them cameras come up to me. LeVar Ball didn't make the cameras come up to him.
Yeah.
Isn't it crazy how when we black people, we got crazy support for our kids. It ain't that. Yeah. It ain't that. And at the end of the day, right? You know who's gonna be the new face of the league? It's gonna be Ja. They scared. They scared of that. Hey, listen. At the end of the day, John Morant, Daddy, keep doing what you do. Keep pissing these people off because listen, they ain't mad at you. They just mad because it ain't them. Because if it was them, sorry, I don't sit in the stands like this. If my baby out there, I'm going crazy. Yeah. And if you put a camera in my face, I'm like, yeah, that's mine right there. Yeah. Why? Because the last time I checked, John Morant Daddy ain't got no quota with these networks. But guess what? He sells tickets. I bet you they using him. Ja, keep doing what you're doing, sir. Because wasn't nobody watching Murray State before you went through there. Yeah. Oh, man, they need to stop this nonsense, man. That man being supportive of his son. And the man say his son be trash. He's saying that in public. The man, he great for TV, man. So I just think that John Morant's daddy is doing more for black fathers than he know. Because I'm telling you, that stuff that we don't care about ours, how you going to tell me what I care about? But when I do show it, I'm doing too much. Do too much, y'all, daddy. Listen, hey, TNT, pick up John Morant daddy. Put him on there with Chuck and Shaq and all them. You know basketball.
Yeah. And throw it out there. LeVar Ball. You brought up LeVar Ball. Negative image. Here you got John Morant daddy, negative image. Richard Williams, negative image. You got Rob DeLoach, negative image. Why is that? And we are accepting of that. We accept that type of madness. So Coach Bernard Brown will give you the last word on this subject matter right here. Talk about it and let the people understand why we need to stop that right there.
Hey, you know why? Because your ass need to. At the end of the day, man, me and my young lady, Evanny, was talking. You know why we look at Memphis and Golden State? For Josh, Steph, and Josh Daddy and his day. Period. They're bringing Memphis. Come on now. He bringing what the people upset about. Right now, we talking about it. ESPN talking about it. TNT talking about it. My man doing what he's doing. He showtiming. He letting them know that's my son. And he hanging out with the celebrity. And I love that red hat he had on, looking like Usher. Come on, man. America. Y'all bigger than that. Leave that man alone.
One last thing. What if he was in LA? It would be crazy.
Crazy.
No. But you know what it really be, Coach Brian and Coach Rob? This is what it really be. LeVar Ball said my son's going to the NBA. I had the number 2 and number 3 overall pick in my son.
Yeah.
Well, So because they didn't like his methods, but they worked. One of them played for Chicago, other one played for Charlotte, right? And if the other one don't go to freaking China and steal, he might be in the NBA too.
Right, exactly.
That's right.
But guess what? The Ball family was such a big family. I know we ain't get to Brittney Griner. They ain't leave him over in China. They got him behind back here, didn't they?
And Trump brought him.
Because he's somebody. And when you are somebody, you can't. Regular stuff don't happen to you. Not
See, Brittney don't have no representation.
Listen, at the end of the day, and I ain't putting no pressure on him. LeBron made one phone call. Something got to happen, man.
Yeah.
Because they ain't gonna leave LeBron over there like that. I bet you he gonna be not one day. Not
man,
one
go
day.
get that girl. Go get that girl, man. Hey, Biden, whoever, go get that girl. Because even though I don't like Donald Trump, if Trump was president, but she would have been home right now. She would have been home right now. At the end of the day, go get that girl. That's somebody's child. That's somebody's child. If it was your child, shit. If it was my child, it'll be World War III.
Don't you give that buzzard no credit on that.
Yeah, Trump is down with Putin. Trump is down with Putin, and that's why. And he's not having.
That's what I mean. That.
No, but and then she. You got to think, Bernard. She's gay too, so they ain't pushing that.
She's still a human being. They still need to
get to you and I, but to them, man.
Right. To them, right. To the racists, they don't care about that. That's why even with regards to the transgender ban, that's why I say we play the game with them. And I might tell them no. That's why I cut them off quick, and just throw something out there. That's why another father who's criticized is LeBron James. And that's what people do something out there. They say, but look at Dwayne Wade, that they go and applaud Dwayne Wade, but then here go black men who are standing up and saying, I am there for my child. That's what they don't give us that accolade like that. And I'm putting it out there saying that's one of the things that I want to make sure we close out with that. So anybody checking out this show, understand these are black men right here who are standing up and speaking out again, and they're giving their perspective. We don't shy away from none of this stuff because the masses of the people tell you something. That's not what we're going to do. And that's why I say Richard Williams, we look at with regards to LeVar Ball, have been castigated and castrated by this world. But they showed you what their children can do. Yeah. But that's why they are involved in life. And I say this personally, that with regards to Ja, I saw Ja and his workout routine with his father, and that made me want to go and do the things that I do. But then Coach Jalostum took it to another level. I saw Ja jumping on tires. And now that was and here go Coach Rob Jalostum got me jumping 30 inches high on boxes right now. I'm just saying. So again, this is Ebony Sports Reporter.
When you getting drafted?
We are closing out because our producer got to go on because he got to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. That's the other producer. He got to celebrate Cinco de Mayo. Even though my Mexican family members going to say that ain't no real Mexican independence. That's American independence from Mexico. So again, enjoy yourself. We'll see you next week.
Last word.
Please.
Like that.